Before we get into the guide, I want you to keep in mind that depending on the cloud coverage, depending on how much rain, the line will fluctuate. This is not the ideal line always. So it's a guide for you to explore the track safely, but after you get more comfortable, you have to start pushing the limits on your own, trying different parts of the track. As the track dries, the line might shift a little bit. So there are a lot of different things that can change with rain. There's no one given line that is the best line. You just have to experiment throughout the race. You have to make little adjustments as you go, and that's how you're fast in the rain. Some things to keep in mind. We want to avoid some curbs. We want to avoid all the white painted lines. We want to avoid all of the puddles, especially the visible and then the non-visible. There's some invisible puddles in places depending on whether your settings are with SSR on or off. Sometimes you just can't see those puddles. You have to practice ahead of time. You have to know those puddles are there and drive like you can see them. So just some things to keep in mind prior to going through this guide. So let's get into it. And let's get into T1. So some of the things we're looking for. We're looking for the brake marker. And the brake markers actually don't change too much compared to a dry line because we're not going as fast. Because the tires have a little bit more drag, wet tires. So therefore, we can still brake around the 150. So depending on how much rain there is, we're braking before the 150. In this case, this is moderate rain. As you can see, we're straddling the white line. We don't want to go over the white line. You can try and brake on this left side, kind of close to this white line, but there are some invisible puddles here and it's dangerous. So it depends how much rain there is, how wet the track is. You might lock up on this left side. The safest part of the track to brake on is the right side, but of course, you're going to be tighter on entry and you're not going to be able to carry as much speed. So the more you can open it up, the better. But usually, the more you're off the dry racing line, you're going to be a little bit safer. So in this case, I chose straddling as the best option in this type of conditions that I was facing. I tried the right side, I tried the left side. I decided the middle was best. As you can see, I try to open up just a little bit towards the end of the braking zone. So you kind of want to brake in a straight line and kind of try to open it up. Sometimes you can open it up a lot, sometimes just a little bit. It just depends on the corner, right? And where the puddles are. So in this case, you can see you really can't see the puddles. We're trying to glide over the curb, just like with the dry line, right? We're still gonna dab on the throttle a little bit here to maximize the minimum apex speed. And we're gonna try to cut over this orange line. Okay, great. Well, that's not the lap that we need to look at. So let's go to the right lap. Okay, that's the lap. Okay, I should cut this. I will cut this in post production. But again, we're braking in the middle, right? We're braking in the middle. We're going to the left side to open it up. We are cutting completely over this curbing, just like with the dry line. We're going to do a little bit of a dab of the throttle here to speed up. We're going to cut completely over this left side curb. We're going to stay off the curbing here and the white line because that's going to create traction control. And we do not want traction control to kick in. We are going to be as narrow as possible. And again here, experiment. See what works best for you. As you can see, I'm braking kind of in the middle of the road. And I'm braking fairly early. After the 200 board is where I'm braking. Fairly soft on the brakes. Around 50% is what I found is the safest. Any more than that, and you are risking potential lockups. Obviously, you can gain time, but there's a risk. Risk reward, you got to figure out what that is, how much you want to risk. Similar to the dry line, we're going to cut completely over this curbing, completely. I get down to first gear here. You could probably do second gear, it just depends. Again, we're going to cut that whole curb as well. We're going to stay off this left side. You can get on the curbing and probably run a little bit wider, maybe carry more speed. It just depends how wet the track is. Similar braking point here as the dry line, but just earlier because we're going to be braking softer. And this is the first high speed corner in the wet. And so we want to stay off this dry line. The dry line is going to be here on the inside. We kind of want to be off of that. We want to be to the left of it. We could have one tire on it. So we can kind of overlap, the dry line a little bit with the right hand side tires. It just depends. And get on throttle. Car will rotate. Car is going to fight you a little bit, as you can see. Depending on how fast you get on throttle, it's going to fight you. It was fighting me quite hard here. And you can get on this curbing. You can utilize this curbing. But remember, look, there is a white line right here. So as you cross into that curbing, the car will want to snap on you. It will want to snap. You have to be prepared for it. So if you're going to use that, be prepared for it. And as you can see, I go in there and it doesn't snap too much. But as soon as I get in there, it already starts dragging me over to the left-hand side. And because it's dragging me to the left-hand side, it's hard to keep the car and pull it back to the right-hand side. And if you then get on this green stuff, the green painted surface here, then you're going to be in trouble. You're not going to be able to get the car back. So be careful there. We're looking for the 50 board. We're going to be braking before the 50 board. As you can see, I pulled the car out from the edge of the track quite a bit. Like there's about half a car's width on the left-hand side because I find that there is some puddling over here. There's some puddling over here. You can't see it, but as soon as I start braking on this, like it's instant lockup. So I kind of take a trajectory to go around these puddles and brake in a diagonal to then open it up so then I can turn in. And that's what you're seeing here. Positioning the car to the middle and then braking kind of diagonally to the left-hand side to open it up, avoiding those puddles. Getting really close here to the puddles on the inside, trying to get on throttle as early as possible. And again, we got to use all the road because these are high-speed corners. We need to carry the speed. If you don't carry speed, you're going to be really slow. It is dangerous, though. You're going to cross over those painted white lines. The car's going to want to snap, and you have to be prepared. So be prepared. It's going to happen. Be ready for it. All right, as we come up to Ascari, I like to brake on the left-hand side. Again, there's like some puddling and things on the right-hand side that I experienced. I don't know, maybe there was a lot of rain in these conditions that I was driving in, but I try to avoid it. And again, I'm braking kind of diagonal here or straight and then opening it up at the end a little bit so that I can carry more speed. You can see about 50% brake force there. Brake pressure, and similar to the dry line, we're gonna hop over that curbing, and we can use the curbing here. But remember the white lines, especially if you get on throttle hard with your rear tires on the white lines, that's when you're gonna have like those huge snaps. So you want to avoid those huge snaps by being patient on throttle here and looking for whatever is the driest part of the track. And you'll see quite a bit of puddling around these curbings. So we kind of get off the curbing. You can see all that puddling. But then over here, there's quite a bit of grip in this area. So you kind of get the car to about here. And then you can throttle out fairly confidently through here. And you want to open it up as much as possible so that you can be as full throttle as possible through the last part of Ascari. That's the important thing, like being on the right hand side here. And you can see the car is just fighting. It's going to fight you. And then again, using all the track there at the end. It's not me steering over there. It's just that as soon as the car gets on this green stuff, I'm telling you that you lose control of where the car is going to go. It's going to go right. So be very careful of that. Be mindful of that when you're going through traffic, because if you don't anticipate that you won't be able to get the car back to the left-hand side, you can imagine there's a GT3 car here. You're trying to pass them on exit. Well, you use all the exit. Oh, you're screwed because you're not going to be able to get the car back to the left-hand side fast enough. You might rear end that GT3. So just be careful with that. Be cognizant of that. And as we approach the last corner, Parabolica, we're looking out for the 100 board. We're going to be braking before the 100 board. And luckily we have a 100 board on the right and on the left. And again, there's just, in my opinion, there's just puddles everywhere here. like everywhere there's puddling, and there's even more puddling on this left side. So I try to brake anywhere from like this line to the right hand side of the track. Um, but if you brake with too much brake pressure, as you cross those puddles over here towards the end of the braking zone, the car will lock up. So you just gotta be very cognizant of that. Expect a lockup and be ready to release the brake if necessary. And here you can either take a wide line or a tight line. If you're on the tight line though, you're going to be on the dry line and expect for the rear to snap a little bit more. If you go off of the racing line, off of the dry racing line, and then cross over, cut over, it's a little bit safer. So that was my approach there, trying to get a little bit safer. And as you can see, the car doesn't really fight me, and I'm able to get on throttle pretty confidently. And on exit, I would say avoid this curb. Because you get on this white line, then it pulls you out again to the left hand side. And more so than the other painted white lines, I felt like this one really made the car snap. So just a dangerous, very dangerous white line here at the end of the lap. So be careful with that. Some other things to keep in mind here in terms of it getting wet. It's a 38% chance for the week. So we will have some rain races. We don't know the forecast. We don't know if it's going to start raining at the beginning of the race or it's going to start somewhere in the middle of the race. So just, something to think about. Whether quality is going to be in the wet. So many different factors. And this is what makes it fun for me, in my opinion. This is what makes it exciting because we go into the race. We don't really know what to expect. But once we know the forecast for the first race of the week, then it's a little bit simpler, right? So if you're not sure what to expect, just wait for the first race, watch that, see what happens, and then go from there. So hopefully this was useful. It should be. And tune in. We're gonna be streaming on Twitch the first races of the week, the IMSA races and potentially the LMP3 races. So Monday nights, tune in to my Twitch, Boris Angel. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.